The Steven Matz roller coaster continues as walks and the long ball doom the Cardinals left-hander against the Diamondbacks. This is Locked on Cardinals.
You are Locked on Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Haffern, and I'm a national radio sports anchor, born and raised in the Lou, and a lifetime Cardinals fan. And I'm your host for Locked on Cardinals, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, covering your team every day. You can follow me on Twitter X at JD Sports Radio. You can follow the podcast at LO_Cardinals. Want to thank those of you who make Locked on Cardinals your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube if you haven't visited us here on the YouTube channel. Make sure you come on by and check it out. Like, subscribe, comment, interact with us. Hit the notification button so you know when new episodes are posted. This is a show serving Cardinal Nation and giving the best fans in baseball all of the info about the birds on the bat. Today's episode being brought to you by eBay Motors. From brakes to exhaust kits and beyond, eBay Motors has over 122 million parts to keep your ride or die alive. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to bring home that big win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay guaranteed fit, only available to U.S. customers. So coming off the thrilling come from behind walk-off dinger on Monday, the Cardinals, and I feel like the fan base was feeling a whole lot better about themselves. And for good reason. You know, when you got a guy like Paul Goldschmidt, who's a beloved member of the clubhouse and of the franchise, you know, nobody dislikes Paul Goldschmidt. And you see him finally get a couple of hits, contribute to the offense, get that big home run. It's going to loosen things up a little bit, right? I feel like a lot of people who stayed up to watch the game on Monday night were feeling pretty good when they woke up on Tuesday. You know, they were like, all right, it's not so bad around here. The topper, obviously, the Nolan Gorman walk-off smash that sent everyone home happy and led to those happy vibes as you woke up on Tuesday. And we were hoping that the Cardinals would be able to carry that momentum into Tuesday's matchup. And early on, everything seemed okay. The Cardinals jumped out quickly in the first inning when Willson Contreras destroys a ball over the Arizona bullpen. His third home run of the year, 439 feet. 107.7 off the bat, just a freaking missile over the bullpen in left center. Just fantastic. Like, you're like, all right, here we go. Now we're getting dingers from Contreras. You got one from Goldie. You got one from Gorman. Everybody's feeling great and feeling good about themselves. Bottom of the second, Monday's hero, Nolan Gorman, mashes an opposite field double, and the vibes continue. You're like, all right, here we go. Look at Gorman. He's back. But then for whatever reason, Gorman, who has 8 career stolen bases, this is where things turned. 8 career stolen bases. He tries to steal third base and gets gunned out. Now, granted, it took a perfect throw from the D-backs catcher Moreno. Like, just boom, right there on the bag, right on Gorman's foot. And he was out. And it was just a weird attempt. Like, I mean, first off, you got 2 outs, okay? You're already in scoring position. Gorman is never going to be confused with Vince Coleman, even someone like Victor Scott II, who has yet to do it at the major league level. But you know what I mean? Like, he's never going to be confused with some big stolen base guy. All right, that's not his game. That's not what he's known for. So the idea to take third base doesn't really make a whole lot of sense right there. Even if there was a tell, which is something that Chip Carey said on the broadcast, that like maybe they were picking up on something and there was a tell that they knew that he was going to go home. And even if that's the case, I still don't understand taking that risk right there. You know, the momentum's on your side. And after Gorman got thrown out of third, the cameras panned right over to manager Oli Marmol after the play, and it did not look like he was all too thrilled about what he just saw. I'm just speculating here. I didn't see anything in the post game about Oli talking about this play. I'm just speculating, but it sure didn't look like the way his face looked that he was the one who gave the green light on that steal attempt. It didn't look like that was something that he called and was like, yeah, let's go. It kind of looked like, what in the hell are you doing, dude? And then when you come back from that, so the momentum's kind of, taken out of your step there. And then you got to give credit to the Diamondbacks hitters who they were making Steven Matz work early on in this game. In the third inning is when things really got tough for Matz. 7-pitch walk to Jake McCarthy. And then you got a 9-pitch walk to Ketel Marte. And I know we like to put blame on the Cardinals players because those are our players. It's obviously their fault. But you got to give credit. I mean, those were two huge at-bats for the Diamondbacks and worked walks out of it. I mean, 16 pitches to two guys and nothing to show for it for the Cardinals. Monster at-bats. And Matz even said in the postgame that Ketel Marte 9-pitch walk really wore him down. He does get Moreno to strike out, but he's at this point in the third inning, he's at 60 pitches in 2 2/3 innings. And that's when, pardon the pun here, but the snakes bite him. They bite him good. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., he dumps a weak hit into right center, which ties the game up because the two guys are on because of the walks. And then Matz just misses his spot. He floats an 84-mile-per-hour changeup right over the heart of the plate to their cleanup hitter, Christian Walker. And he says, thank you. And I mean, basically it's a batting practice toss there. And he just unloads on it. 105.7 miles per hour off the bat. He clears the Diamondbacks bullpen and makes it 4-1. And all of a sudden you're just like, what just happened? And sadly, to steal a line from DX, for my wrestling fans out there, for the 1,000 in attendance and the millions watching at home, that was the closest that the Cardinals would ever get, as this one gets out of hand rather quickly after that. Matz had a good inning in the fourth, got through that fairly quickly, but in the fifth inning, it's a leadoff double by Marte. It's a single by Moreno. Then it's 5-1. Gurriel Jr. singles. Matz gets Christian Walker to pop out. Oli comes out and gets him. All right. He's at 92 pitches. I'm assuming they were thinking, 90 pitches. Let's get him there, and then we'll wrap it up. So he gets Walker to pop out. Oli grabs him. 92 pitches. Only goes 4 1/3 innings. Not exactly the inning gobbler that the Cardinals are looking for from their starters. So Zack Thompson is the guy that's going to come in next. All right, and Matt's still on the hook for the guys on base here. Zack Thompson comes in to try and just limit the damage. All right, we're already at 5-1. Let's see if we can at least give the Cardinals a fighting chance. And honestly, it couldn't have gone much worse, to be honest. We'll talk about this and what to even make of Steven Matz and Zack Thompson at this point of the season after we go over some of their stats, which are gruesome. They're gruesome right now. We'll get into all of that next here on Locked On Cardinals. Passion, drive, and patience. What brings home the winning trophy is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance, from superchargers to roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and a whole lot more. You getting up in age? Having a little tough time seeing things at night? LED headlights are so nice. If you don't have them already, I highly recommend you pick them up. Whether you're into speed, whether it's power, style, or all of the above, eBay Motors has got you covered with over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die. You'll always find exactly what you're looking for, and with eBay's Guaranteed Fit, the part is guaranteed to fit your ride every single time, or you're going to get your money back. They got you covered, because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at eBay Motors, and go to ebay.com/motors to find them online. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. And I've been told that I'm a competitive person. And if you're into sports, I don't know how you're not. I've got a competitive side. Most of you do, I'm sure. And my competitive side has become a big fan of Monopoly Go. And I'm sure you've heard of this one because it's been downloaded over 150 million times. That's right, 150 million times. It's a great twist on the great game of Monopoly, where you play on not one, but hundreds of Monopoly boards in crazy locations, building up amazing cities. They can bring you big money, but the best part is you get a chance to mess with your friends. All right. Everybody likes a little smack talk here and there. And in this game, you can do that. I can charge them rent on my iconic properties, just like classic Monopoly. Somebody lands on your boardwalk and you're like, pay me. But now I can also heist their vaults of riches for myself. And the leaderboards will show you who the biggest Monopoly tycoon is. But it's not just my competitive side that loves it. You can also team up with your friends and people from all around the world in time tournaments to earn huge rewards. So get in the game and join your friends. Download Monopoly Go, now free on the App Store or Google Play. That's Monopoly Go, now free on the App Store or Google Play. Are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day and have to turn down the volume because of all the shouting? Then make that switch to Locked On Sports today. It's a free 24/7 sports streaming channel, and it's programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and, of course, news, streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. It's part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And a reminder, you can catch every pitch of the Cardinals' hometown broadcast, which is going to wrap up on Wednesday with SiriusXM. Just download the SXM app and search the word Cardinals. And thank you for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. I'm sure we're going to get some comments about Tuesday night's annihilation. That's a good word, right? Not a whole lot was positive for the Cardinals in this one. And it gets worse. So after Matz exits, in comes Thompson, and immediately he strikes out Cardinal killer Eugenio Suarez, who struck out 4 times tonight. And when you hear the final score, you're going to be like, that's kind of hard to believe, because Suarez seems to just feast off Cardinals pitching, has been doing it his whole career. But it's 5-1, and he gets the big strikeout. And then you're like, all right, you still kind of got that momentum from last night going. They came back last night. They were down 3 last night. They could do this again, right? Well, the D-backs had some other ideas as they literally just pummeled Zack Thompson into submission. Like, it was awful. The rest of the way for Thompson was just nasty. Single to former Cardinal Randall Grichuk, who, by the way, in that single, that inning, 1,000th career hit, by the way. It doesn't seem like he was a Cardinal like 25 years ago. Like, should he be like 50 by now? And he's not. He's still on, still playing, still beating the Cardinals. A double by Pavin Smith makes it 8-1. Then Kevin Newman smashes one into Big Mac land, and just like that, it's 10-1. Newman. And this game is basically over there. All right. It's 10-1, and nobody can believe what they've just seen. Like, everybody's in shock. Like, it was just tied at 1, like a few moments ago. And then boom, just like that. 10-1. Final line for Steven Matz after Thompson let everybody come in. 4 1/3 innings, 7 runs on 6 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, and the one big fly by Christian Walker. Steven Matz is headed in the wrong direction, folks. In his last 3 starts, he's given up 16 runs, 13 of those earned on 21 hits in 14 innings. Now, tonight, there was certainly some soft hits mixed in there with the ones that they did hit hard off of him. The changeup that Walker crushed was just a really bad pitch. I mean, he missed his spot, but it's hard to look at this line that he had tonight. Once again, 4 1/3 innings, 7 runs, 6 hits, 3 walks. You see that, and it's hard to look at that and say that there's a lot of positives to take away from that. But after the game tonight, manager Oli Marmol's talking to the press, and I'm going to paraphrase here because it's not an exact quote of what he said, but he thought it was one of Matz's better outings from a pitch standpoint Said the velo was there, which it was. He was throwing around 95, 96. And he said, for the most part, thought he did a pretty decent job, and it just didn't go their way. Now, I know that Oli Marmol is trying to back up his guy here, trying to keep things a little positive, and I can understand that, and I can appreciate that. But come on, man. Come on, man. You cannot tell us with a straight face that that was a good outing. Come on, man. The part of the fan base that already wants Oli Marmol fired, probably from last year, but going into this year, after the way things have started this year for the Cardinals, the part of the fan base that wants him out already is going to have an absolute field day with that. They are going to shred him for those quotes. So I don't blame you. Let her rip. Let her rip in the comments. I don't blame you one bit. I can't defend saying that what Steven Matz did tonight was a good outing. Like I don't even know how you can say that. Like just don't say that. Just go, I thought he threw the ball well. They just beat him and hit him well too. Like you could say, hey, velo was nice and I like the way the ball was coming out of his hand. Unfortunately, it was going in the wrong direction a little too often, but you can't tell me it's a good outing. Come on, man. I can't defend that. Back to the game, though, itself, because even though technically, it was over, we still had some innings left to play, and the Diamondbacks, clearly taught by Sensei Kreese from the Cobra Kai dojo, because they show no mercy, which makes sense because Diamondbacks and Cobras are all part of the snake family, and they just stepped on Zack Thompson's throat. Even though they had him down, they were like, ugh. Sixth inning, gives up a double, walks a guy, hits a guy, and then Pavin Smith rips him, takes him yard for a grand slam, hits a salami. And if you're saying to yourself, why do I feel like I've heard Pavin Smith in a grand slam? Why do I feel like I've heard that before? It's because you have. Pavin Smith, the immortal Pavin Smith, hit a grand slam at Busch Stadium last year against your St. Louis Cardinals. In fact, he has now homered in 3 straight games at Busch Stadium. He loves it there. The guy owns the Cardinals, had 6 RBIs tonight. Pavin Smith, fear him. And it was kind of fitting that someone involved in this game would hit a grand slam. I'm sure you saw it during the telecast. Maybe you didn't, but we were just hoping it'd be somebody from the Cardinals who might hit one, because this is the 25th anniversary of Fernando Tatis Sr. hitting not one, but 2 grand slams in the same inning against the Dodgers. Did that at Dodger Stadium off of Chanho Park back in 1999, which was one of the craziest things I've ever seen, because not only, is it, hitting 2 grand slams, but doing it off the same pitcher is mind-blowing, because why wasn't he pulled yet? Why was he still out there to even give Tatis the opportunity to hit another one off of him? That would never happen in this day and age. But anywho, what do we make of Zack Thompson right now? That's something I was thinking about, was what do we make of Zack Thompson? We knew coming into this year he was going to be the swing man. He was going to be the 6th man, right? Beat out Matthew Liberatore for that role. It sent Libby to the bullpen, and Thompson was going to be that guy that is going to be the long relief guy, the guy that gets the start when, maybe somebody isn't feeling right or is hurt, like it was when Sonny Gray at the beginning of the year. And it has not gone well. He made that start against the Dodgers while Gray was out, gives up 5 runs on 6 hits, 3 home runs, which has been a problem in 5 1/3 innings. 3 runs on 5 hits, a home run in 5 innings in his second start against the Padres. Looks really good in relief against the Phillies. 3 1/3 innings, no runs, 4 hits, 6 strikeouts. But then, who do you blame here? Do you blame the situations of the games? Do you blame Oli for not getting him into any games? But he doesn't see the mound for 10 days. which doesn't mean he's not throwing and doing bullpen stuff. But he's not on a game in a game on a mound in a regular season game in 10 days. And when he does come out, he gets knocked around by the Brewers 2/3 of an inning, 3 runs, 2 hits, 1 walk. And then Tuesday night, 2 2/3, 7 runs, 7 hits, 2 home runs, walked a guy, hit a guy, had 5 strikeouts. But the ERA is now at 9.53 for Zack Thompson. 9.53. He's given up 6 home runs in just 17 innings. And if you want to spin it in a positive way, he has shown some swing and miss, 20 strikeouts. Now, there's no spot available in the normal 5-man rotation for him right now, which is a good thing because it means the Cardinals' starting rotation is healthy. And I cannot blame a guy for being rusty when there's 10 days in between appearances. But tonight's performance was just UGLY. It was ugly. Speaking of ugly, the offense, that fell back into their shell real quick, didn't they? Plus, we had an injury scare tonight, which I was real nervous about. One of the team's best hitters pulled from the game, and he didn't look all that comfortable when he was leaving. So we'll give you an update on what's going on with Willson Contreras. That's next on Locked on Cardinals. It's playoff time in the NBA and NHL. Baseball in full swing, obviously. And FanDuel is your place to bet on every game. The Cardinals, they got a couple home runs. You got, 3 in the last 2 games? That's something, right? Are they trending up? Is the power going to be back? You can choose which player you think's going to hit a dinger the next time on the field with the home run parlay builder. You can also bet on who the Cardinals are going up against when it comes to hitting home runs because they tend to give a lot of those up too. We got a stat on that coming your way. You've also got pitcher props that you can come through. Think you know who's going to win the World Series. You got an idea on that. You can place bets on that as well. And of course, Stanley Cup playoffs. You got the NBA playoffs. Gazillion things to bet on when it comes to those 2 sports as well. And if this is your first time on FanDuel, I've got some great news for you. Right now, new customers, you get $150 in bonus bets. That's guaranteed, by the way. That's $150 win or lose. So even if your bet doesn't quite work out, turn that frown upside down because you still get the $150 in bonus bets to use on another bet. And hopefully you'll get those winnings back. And you can bet on everything from slap shots to home runs to slam dunks, all on an app that is safe, it's secure, and it's easy to use. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make your first bet an automatic win. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. It's also available on Amazon Fire TV and the free Fire TV channels app. It's here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On Plus, our national shows, which cover every league. You can find Locked On Sports Today now available on the free Fire TV channels app. So Willson Contreras' home run in the first inning, beautiful, right? Smashed it, looked great. After that, there was very little to cheer about offensively for the Cardinals. The offense manages just 6 hits on the night. So here we go again, right? Paul Goldschmidt, who we were hoping, Monday night's big game, the home run, let off with a little dinky single, but hey, positive stuff, right? 2 hits in the game. We were hoping he was snapping out of his funk after that performance. No. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. He's now hitting 186. And again, I watch his swing, and on the home run, vintage Paul Goldschmidt swing. Quick with the hands, went at the ball, hit it opposite field. Swings tonight, late on the fastball, and it's like he's extending, like his arms, like he's sweeping the bat through the zone. And it's slow. And he's not catching up to fastballs because of it. And I'm not talking like 99 triple-digit fastballs. I'm talking 94, stuff like that. Like they're blowing them past him. It's tough. It's tough to watch. Jordan Walker, a couple of days off, right? Clear his head, work on some things in the batting cage. Back in there tonight. 0 for 3 with a strikeout, batting average down to 155. Sophomore slump appears to be real with Jordan Walker right now, and I don't know what to do with him because just when you think, because they keep pitching him away, and then they come inside, they bust him in, and he can't get to it. But you see him get a couple of hits to the opposite field, and you think, all right, he's starting to figure it out. And then it disappears again for a couple of days. And, it's not that he's not working on it. It's not happening so far for him here in 2024. Brendan Donovan fell below 200 for tonight for like a brief moment. He made an out, fell below 200, then got a single later on, but he's hitting just 205, and that's your leadoff guy. And, the guy that's supposed to kind of, stir the drink. And when he's not getting base hits, I know he gets on base here and there still. Like, it's not like, oh my gosh, Brendan Donovan stinks now. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying he's not hitting the ball quite as well, right? That's all I'm pointing out. 205 batting average, not good. Lars Nootbaar, 0 for 4, 216 since coming off the IL. Michael Ciani, 0 for 3, 167. Likes to ground out to the first base side and make it a really close play at first base with the hustle, but he's always out. So that's not good. Nolan Gorman hit the ball hard twice tonight, had that double, and then he had a single up the middle, and the batting average now up to 195, but still below 200, which is not good. But again, he hit the ball hard twice tonight. And then, of course, the last thing you want to see in a blowout like this is anybody to get injured. Right? You're like, okay, let's just get out of here without anybody something physical happening to somebody. And then we get the injury scare with Wilson Contreras in the 5th inning. Scores 10-1 at this point. Contreras grounds out to end the inning. And just before that, he had fouled a pitch off, and his hand was bothering him again, right? And he grounds out, and it appeared to me that he was like holding his side, like that he had injured something over in the rib cage area, or it was an abdominal issue. And I was like, oh boy. I was like, that's a guy that you really can't afford to let him get hurt, because you're not hitting as a team. And he's one of the few guys that is doing some good stuff offensively. But the good news was that Oli said after the game that it was nothing to do with his side or anything. It was just his hand bothering him again. Same injury that he's been dealing with for a couple of weeks now. Since getting hit on that hand against the Padres. And then Oli specifically said that they pulled him from the game on Tuesday night, not because of an injury or anything like that, but because of how the score was. They're like, that's enough. Let's just get him out of here for the night. So said he should be good to at least DH on Wednesday. So that's a big moment. Like I said, you can't afford to be losing guys who are actually hitting the ball when you've got so many people in this lineup who are struggling as bad as the Cardinals hitters are. Cardinals hitless in 6 at-bats with runners in scoring position were held to 3 runs or less for the 13th time in their last 16 games. That one courtesy of Rob Raines. Here's a good but bad stat from our buddy Jeff Jones. First time the Cardinals had 2 pitchers each allow 7 or more runs in a game since 2007. When it happened to Braden Looper and Mike Maroth. I think that's how we said his name, Mike Maroth, which I was like, whoa, because I remember that guy. They got him from the Tigers, and he was a lefty, and we were hoping that, okay, we'll bring him in, and, the Cardinals will be able to turn him around because he's a veteran, and he had like one good game, and then he just sucked after that. It was bad. And then there's Braden Looper, who never, lived up to the draft pick that he was for the Cardinals either. Cardinals pitching staff gave up 3 more home runs on Tuesday and have now given up 29 dingers total, which is the most in the National League and is tied for the 4th highest in Major League Baseball. Now, we've been giving this pitching staff credit for overall being pretty good, specifically the bullpen. These numbers, Thompson's numbers tonight are really going to hurt what the bullpen has done so far this year. Because when you look up and down the bullpen right now, everybody else has been pretty good. And Zack Thompson's numbers are the ones that are just PU stinky. But the home runs have been an issue, specifically for the starting rotation. They say solo home runs won't kill you, but as Rob Raines from STLSportspage.com pointed out, 6 of the home runs have now come with 2 runners on base. So they're adding up, and they're starting to happen more frequently with people on base as well, and that's a problem. If we are looking for positives tonight, Nick Robertson. Attaboy. Nick Robertson in his Cardinals debut, and he looked good. He looked good. 2 innings, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, which I love. Got a double play ball, struck out 1. That's about it. That's really all I got for you as any sort of positives tonight. Just an absolute stinker of a game all around. And it's a situation where, and Brad Thompson, I think he said this. I was putting together my notes, and I believe he said this as well, but it's what I thought of too. You just, when you have a stinker, you got to flush it. And that's what they got to do. They got to flush this one away and just say, yup, that was brutal. And you just got to put it out of sight, out of mind. You got to move on to the next day, which is Wednesday. And you've got former Cardinal Jordan Montgomery coming to the mound at Busch Stadium for the first time since he's been traded away. His second start since joining the Arizona Diamondbacks. And he was really good in his first start against the San Francisco Giants. And, you know, you always worry about these situations where, you know, we bring it up for fun, but it seems like it happens all the time. Revenge games, right? And the Jordan Montgomery revenge game could be happening on Wednesday. Like, would it shock anybody if Jordan Montgomery came in and fired off 6-7 shutout innings against this Cardinals offense? Probably not. We're hoping that doesn't happen, but I'm not going to be shocked if it does. The Cardinals will counter with Kyle Gibson, who up and down starts the Cardinals' career. First game against the Padres was really, really good. Second one against the Marlins, he got shelled early on and then was really good after that. We think maybe he was tipping pitches in that first inning. Third start was going pretty well until Gurriel, I believe it was, hit that 3-run dinger off him in Arizona. A pitch low and inside. No way that should have been a pitch that somebody hits over the wall. Gurriel did it. And then in his last time out, 1 run over 6 innings against Milwaukee. Very good offense, but didn't get any offensive support. He's gone at least 6 innings in all 4 of his starts, but he's 1-2 with an ERA of 5.04. So we'll see what happens. First pitch is set for 12:15 St. Louis time at Busch. Let's just hope it's a lot better than what we saw on Tuesday, because I enjoyed doing post-game Monday a lot better than doing the post game for Tuesday, because it's just not a lot of fun. So anyways, thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you haven't already, give me a follow on Twitter, at @LO_Cardinals, and at JD Sports Radio. Like, subscribe on YouTube, help our channel, and love for the St. Louis Cardinals grow, even when they get mauled 14-1. You're the best fans in baseball for a reason, and I will see you next time on Locked On Cardinals.